Mike's Daily Podcast.
It is a joy and an absolute honor to be speaking to you using the wonderful recording equipment
Mike's Daily Podcast
at Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, where I am tangled up with my headphones around the equipment here. Oh no, now it's okay. Hey, it is episode 2440, 2440, and my name is Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's right. Thank you for listening to the program. And I forgot the name. Oh, that's right.
Daily.
Mike's Daily Podcast. That's right.
Podcast.
Okay, that's right. Stop singing.
Yeah.
Why are you singing all the time? Hey, welcome to the podcast today. A little bit of levity to begin the podcast with, just a tad. There's some news stories that grabbed my attention today. Oh, what a day I had. I got up at 4, got to work, did some work with the radio things. You can hear more about that, what exactly I was doing on the last podcast, episode 2439, which was called Overload, which today was definitely an overload of all kinds of stuff. Potential huge catastrophes at work where equipment wasn't working and whatnot. Thankfully, people on hand were able to fix it. Yours truly is not that smart in that respect to fix things. I can fix some stuff, but to get in there into the software and gears and gizmos and whatnot, I don't. That's not me, but other people were. And then, what else? Oh, then stuff going on with my mom's house, the sale of my mom's house in Florida. Hit some snags. Incidentally, I have been very much involved with all of this going on in Florida with the insurance. People can't insure their houses. That's affecting the sale.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's getting too expensive to insure houses. They're being more specific, taking more caution, the insurance companies, to make sure every little thing is perfect before they insure a house. So all kinds of stuff in that world that I've discovered in recent days in Florida. The podcast pictures, not of Florida though. Why don't we go to the beaches more local here to Podcastro Valley? That would be to Half Moon Bay. Another great picture from this past Saturday. In the area of Poplar Beach, where I used to take the wonderful late great Basil the Boxer, he and I would go there and we'd have wonderful walks, huge, long walks. But there's this one part of the beach we never went to because they didn't allow dogs. And my lovely lady friend and I took a walk down that way. One of the only good reasons not to have a dog with us, that because otherwise we would have been, yelled at or arrested. Or I have been fined. The late great Basil the Boxer and I did get fined in the Oyster Bay area there in San Leandro, right by the Oakland Airport. That section of the East Bay Regional Park District, right by the bay. I got a ticket one time for having him off leash, even though there were signs saying that dogs could be off leash. So, my lovely lady friend and I took a walk. You can see a picture from that wonderful walk at our wonderful website, mikesdailypodcast.com. See it now. After 10 days of testimony, Amber Heard's team rested their case this morning in the actress's defamation trial against Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's motion to toss Heard's $100 million counterclaim was denied, as expected, so his team went on to call their rebuttal witnesses. And Depp had nothing to do with Amber Heard's reduced role in Aquaman 2, according to a head honcho at Warner Brothers. Apparently, the actress's chemistry with Jason Momoa was a concern to executives, apparently. Walter Hamada, president of DC Films, said via a video deposition that Heard and Momoa's chemistry was fabricated during the editing process of Aquaman. The chemistry wasn't there, Walter said. Walter also said there were conversations internally about potentially recasting the role of Mira, played by Heard, after the 2018 film. He testified that the creative conversations were not impacted by Depp or statements made by the actor's attorney. Heard is suing Depp over Waldman's comments to the Daily Mail, calling her abuse claims a hoax. And that is I didn't see Aquaman, but hey, I didn't really, want to see Aquaman. I'm so done with superhero movies at this point, but you probably love it. You probably went and saw Moon Knight, even though that's a different comic book company. So there you go. Latest on that. I don't know. I didn't really follow the trial, but that's the latest with that. Big news in culture and society and all that popular culture stuff. Meanwhile, U.S. new home sales fell sharply last month amid rising prices. What a surprise there. U.S. new home sales plunged in April to their lowest in 2 years, even as prices continued to climb. Would-be buyers felt the heat of soaring inflation and rising interest rates, getting higher and higher, much higher than they've been in a long time. Home sales have been booming throughout COVID-19 and the pandemic, but with inflation at its highest since the early 1980s, the Federal Reserve has begun raising interest rates aggressively to cool the economy, which is pushing borrowing costs higher. Add to that, insurance companies. You got to have an insurance. If you're getting a loan, the insurance company has to put the okay on it in order for all that to work. But sales of new single-family homes fell almost 17% last month. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. The decline was far worse than analysts had projected and compounded by the downward revision to the sales figures for March. So this is pretty big. Last month's sales pace was a 26.9% drop compared to April. Even amid higher borrowing costs that are cooling demand from home buyers, prices continued to rise, though, last month, reaching a median price of $450,000, up from $435,000 in the prior month. So prices are going up, even though people aren't buying as much. People are not purchasing. So how about this? So with all that, let's say you got to put out fires at work. You're the put out fires person. They call you the fireman. That's your name. What are some good ways to take care of things at work if you're in a stressful job? Well, when you have to put out fires, and sometimes they all happen at once and it becomes very panic-filled, respond promptly. Some of the fear, urgency, stress is just from the person with the problem, thinking they are all alone on it. If you receive a phone call or email, be sure to acknowledge the problem as quickly as possible. Then include the right people. With the ease of email, it seems like a small fire can turn into a wildfire with a couple of clicks of the mouse. More often than not, there are way too many people included in emails, not only wasting time, but just making things more confusing. Resolve this by replying to all that you will be handling the issue with, and you name the specific people. Then keep your correspondence to just those involved. But keep the team in the loop. Even though you worked on the problem with the right individuals, everyone will want to know how the situation was resolved. This will help them not only understand how you lead, but how to handle the next fire on their own. Get proactive. After the fire's out, take a step back and look to see where you could have avoided that problem in the first place and how you can avoid it the next time. If you do that, it should be better. Oh, speaking of fires, I'm getting a fire right now. Hold on. All right, I think we fixed it. I think we fixed the issue. All right. That was from managingamericans.com, written by Emil Shoop. Emil Shoop did that, leader of Shoop Training and Consulting. Hey, okay, so I know somebody who says okay a lot. Oh, by the way, sorry for the crutch. I had a crutch word on the last podcast, and that was at any rate. I said at any rate 10 times, and I'm sorry. I should have said anyway, because that's the name of our cafe that we're outside of, Cafe Anyway. So, but that was my little crutch word that I use. So I know somebody that says okay a lot. When they talk to you, they go, and what we're doing is okay, is we're doing this and that, and okay, and that's right, okay. That's what they do. They say that. And then they ask weird questions like this.
Why do your toenails look like that?
So strange. We're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Look who's here. Hello, my goodness, it's Madame Rootabega. Yes, this is really fascinating show, and what a day. Ooh. Did you have a crazy day? Yes. Did you go run out and get some popsicles? Yes. Do you like this hot weather? No. Yeah, it's pretty hot these days here in Podcaster Valley. I need a boom mic instead of a mic stand. Hey, I'm Mike, and I'm standing. No, I'm sitting here for this podcast. Look who else is here. Hello, Dave Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, we think that popsicles are the bomb there. Yeah, Pepsi-Bam. Do you know that? Wonderful. Hey, I just want to say thank you for listening to the show. If you'd like to chime in, if you'd like to be a wind chime, if you would like to be a wind catcher, if you would like to be the wind. The wind. If you want to be the wind, my friend, all you got to do, like she is like the wind Patrick Swayze sang about. But hey, if you want to do any of that, please call me, 336-MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast has been now for a couple of days.
336-MM Daily.
Or you can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. To repeat some of that I just said, it's A-Frame. Oh, wait, but, sorry, A-Frame, I cut you off. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere, the engineer. Join us then, won't you?
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!